Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Welcome aboard. We're live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. It is Fridays. It is a Friday during the football season, and every week in this spot, Adam Chernoff has joined us now for many, many years. In fact, this is year number 5 with Adam here on the program, and he is on the Progressive Guest Line. Adam is dynamite on the NFL. He's with Right Angle Sports, and his podcast is called The Simple Handicap. Good morning, Adam. Thanks for the time today. How are you?
Good morning. One last morning. There's been many of them over the years, and so I'm looking forward to the big Friday afternoons coming up. I'll be a little more rested, a little more awake. Obviously not as big of a deal as you guys, but hopefully can still bring the enthusiasm in the afternoon.
Oh, I can't wait for it. Your backdrop looks awesome today, by the way.
Well, we're doing some work. It's taken a good 5 years to get anywhere close to being semi-competent, but it's a lot of tinkering and a lot of fiddling around, and so hopefully getting it right for the football season. Well, if not now, then when?
Yeah.
Trying to get it right.
Let's begin here. So the deal is finally done between the 49ers and Brandon Ayuk. We've talked about his importance, right, to that offense now over the summertime and what it meant for him last year. Also, tie that into what's going on with Trent Williams, because I actually think that would be a bigger deal. Like if he's not there for the 49ers, would you agree with that?
I mean, it's trending to look like a massive loss. It was last year when Trent Williams missed 3 games. It was like 2.8 games because he was injured early in the first quarter against Cleveland. But it's hard not to notice that in those games, San Francisco scored 17 points, all 3. It was their lowest 3 offensive outputs of the season. He matters a ton. And I mean, this year, guys, I was watching the 49ers Raiders on Sunday. It was the 49ers starting offensive line without Trent Williams against the Raiders' backup defensive line, and Brock Purdy was running for his life every snap that he was in there. And so, as is, the 49ers' offensive line is graded out 20th coming into the season with Trent Williams. You remove him from that, it's serious problems. Now, Ayuk will mitigate some of that. Certainly, his importance on the outside cannot be overstated enough. We've talked about it a few times. Last year, number 1 in EPA per target, nearly 13 yards per attempt thrown at him. Like, he's massive to opening up everything that this offense wants to do. It's great to have him back. It's an enormous win for San Francisco, but boy, do they need Trent Williams out there. And we're already seeing this number on the Jets come down pretty significantly because there's a big difference between Raiders backups and the Jets starting defensive front that the Niners are going to have to deal with.
Yep. How concerned are you what's going on here with Chase and even Burrow's wrist?
I mean, the wrist seems okay. It wasn't really a major talking point once he was back in camp and participating. He's downplayed it. It sounds like he's going to be fine and good to go, and he has no concerns. But that's confident Joe Burrow at the podium every time, so it's hard to say how much he might be hiding. But obviously, it's a massive concern with Jamar Chase because it's a wide receiver group that's going through changes. It's an offensive scheme with Dan Pitcher coming in and taking over as the offensive coordinator who had more hands-on, and now it's been a long time without Chase on the field participating in some of these drills. So his loss now is looking like it could be significant. Now, week 1, perhaps not so much of a big deal when you're laying 9 at home against New England, who can't figure out who they want to get right on offense and put on the field. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, maybe it won't show up as much, but you're looking week 2 on the schedule. Kansas City's sitting there. So, I mean, urgency is obviously at the top of priority list to get Chase back on the field. You take him away from that offense, I don't think it's an overstatement to say you're docking the Cincinnati Bengals a point at least without Chase on the field. So, I mean, it is vital to get him on the field. Big deal.
By the way, notoriously slow starters here with Joe Burrow. The Bengals. We all know this, right? I mean, it's like they don't come out of the gate swinging. I mean, they pick it up like after the first few weeks are already done.
They do. And I think there was a lot of optimism because this is, believe it or not, the first season in Joe Burrow's career where he's had a healthy offseason. He's had a full training camp. He's had a full preseason. He's played in the preseason. Every other year, something has disrupted his offseason prep and training. And now he's on the field and he's participating and he's out there and everyone else is out there, but his number 1 weapon is not. So it was a season that was looking like this could finally be the year where there's not a slow start, but now you have this Chase drama kind of holding things up. So, yeah, this is a really big deal brewing in Cincinnati.
Between the offensive line and no weapons, and then you're at some point going to go to May. Do you think fewest points in a season's in play with the Patriots?
Yeah, I mean, they couldn't move the ball against the Panthers' third and fourth strings. They couldn't move it against the Philadelphia third and fourth strings, and they couldn't move it against Washington. And there were starters playing significant time, whether it was with Brissett or May in all of those games. So it's a major concern. But I start to look at this and wonder, how much did Mayo botching this last 96 hours kind of possibly wreak a little bit of concern in the locker room itself? Because all season it was Brissett's going to start. Brissett is the number one guy. May is going to be number two. He's going to come in later. And then we get to the end of preseason and Mayo's like, well, I have to make a decision and think about it. And even in his press conferences, he was no longer saying we. He was saying I made the decision to start Jacoby Brissett. And Alex Van Pelt, the offensive coordinator, was kind of on an island by the end of it saying, I want to start Jacoby Brissett as well. But it's hard not to notice that Drake May arguably outperformed Jacoby Brissett. So to me, it was kind of a signal by Mayo indicating that maybe these first few games are not win now as the priority. And it's kind of let's get through this brutal opening 6 weeks and then figure it out after. But I would say personally, I have to agree with the decision to start Jacoby Brissett because I think back to the 2021 New York Jets. They drafted Zach Wilson. It was a brand new coaching staff, and they threw Wilson out right away, week one, with Flacco in the wings. And he faced Belichick twice. He faced Dean Pease, who blitzed him like crazy. He got Vrabel in there. It looked horrible. And all of a sudden, the confidence was shot and it was over. Guys, look at the first 6 weeks for New England here. They're going to have just a brutal matchup against Lou Anarumo to start. They get Mike McDonald, who led a historic defense last year. And then you have D'Amico Ryans, Robert Salah, and Jeff Ulbrich. You have Anthony Weaver, who's going into Miami, who's going to have guys healthy. It's a brutal opener for the Pats to start into the later portion of October. So it's the right decision to start Brissett, but I think that locker room now is in a bit possibly of disarray with the 180 that Mayo has pulled here last minute.
Yeah, assuming Brissett stays healthy, I think looking at that schedule, the absolute earliest I think we could see May would be week 5, and I'm trying to be generous with this because they do start off with 3 road games out of their first 4. They would come back home against Miami, but realistically speaking, if Brissett's healthy and it's not going well, I think they stick with him till probably week 8 against the Jets, and then maybe they go May week 9 at the Titans. Do you think that would be the overall decent game plan here out of the Patriots?
I do, and that was what I heard from people who I talked with from New England who work and report for the team. Their prediction was week 8 or week 9. There was kind of a hedge to it as the preseason went on and said that there would be a 10 to 15% chance that May would start week 1. So they were kind of seeing things start to shift and things start to change. But if obviously it's made clear, Mayo's kind of hinting it's not win now to start the season. If that's the case, why wait? There's no problem waiting till late October. And you get into that. You can even wait a little bit later. So it's really starting to look like a throwaway season. We're talking about least points scored. I think that's certainly in play.
Yeah.
Who's close to them at the very bottom of the league then in terms of power rating? If they're the worst team overall power rating in the entire NFL, is there anybody that's a close second, you think?
For me, Denver. I think that's an easy decision to make. I've had them 31 and 32 since earlier in the spring when I first did numbers and we first started doing media on the YouTube channel. And so to me, Denver is right there with them. Denver just wants to be hyper conservative on offense. And so we're talking about offenses that can't move the football, don't have a lot of weapons, and want to run the ball more than they want to pass it. The Broncos are firmly in that territory. So I think they're right there neck and neck with the Pats for worst team to start the season.
What do you think of the season opener Thursday? Chiefs 3, 46.5. And I know you're high on the Chiefs in terms of they're just going to improve what they did and how the offense struggled with the turnovers. But and how aggressive do you want to get that there could be a fall off with the Ravens?
Fall off is a tricky thing to describe with the Ravens. It's going to be predicated by the offensive line. It's a major issue, and it was part of the reason why starters couldn't get into preseason games. They really wanted to play guys, and so it was a big issue up front for Baltimore. I know Lamar can negate it a little bit, but this is the worst offensive line Lamar has ever played behind. It's the worst offensive line in the Harbaugh-Lamar tenure, and people that I've spoken with from the team say it's their biggest concern going into the year. Matched up against the Kansas City defensive line, I think that's a major mismatch for Baltimore that they're going to have to find a way to deal with. And I don't know if there's answers right away in week 1 because it's been tough all training camp and preseason for the Baltimore Ravens. That just by virtue of that based on last year, we think about the playoff matchup between these two, that number was way out to Baltimore -5. A ton of game day money. Everybody wanted to bet on the Ravens in that game. Baltimore gives Kansas City their best shot, and the Kansas City Chiefs won that one pretty comfortably. And so I'm looking at this one back in Arrowhead with the Chiefs laying 3 at home. I think the number has moved quite a bit, but still, I could only look at Kansas City in this spot laying those points. I think this Chiefs team is the best roster that Andy Reid has ever had. I think it's the best Patrick Mahomes team, both on offense and defense. And so to me, it's not likely going to be a bet that I make, but I could only look to Kansas City laying the points in this game. I just wouldn't be comfortable with Baltimore and those offensive line issues and those big defensive changes without Mike McDonald.
All right. If you were booking that game, would you hang a 3 on it, or would you do something else?
I definitely put up the 3, and we've seen it go to 3 a little bit, and there's been resistance, and people have gone back and bet Baltimore taking it the other way. But I would definitely be willing to put that 3 out there. And I would also say I think the total, I would be a little bit higher on that too, around 47 at that key. So that one's a little bit shy on the total too, but I'd be at 3 and 47.
Here's a good prop to put up. How many games will the Chiefs win the West by? I want to lay games. I want to lay games. I want to lay a game and a half. I want to lay maybe 2.5 games.
Yeah. I was going to say, would you lay 3.5 games? That's too high.
That's a big number. 2.5, sure. Right number.
I'd be with you at 2.5. It's the clearest path and easiest division winner in football, no question.
And we'll continue with Adam Chernoff coming up next. We'll get some other bold takes that he has for the upcoming NFL season a week from yesterday's when it starts here. And Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
All right, I'm warning you, don't place your next bet until you check out Juice Reel, a free tool. Bettors love it. REEL. It lets you connect all your betting accounts wherever you bet, and all your betting history automatically loads in. More than giving you in-depth analytics on your own bets, it uses the $4 billion of bets the community has synced into the app to help everyone bet smarter, get stats on yourself, follow real winning bettors, fade the losers, and have a profitable football season by using Juice Reel as your go-to free betting tool. Grab your phone, download the Juice Reel app now. It's free. Juice Reel, REEL. Get it now. Download Juice Reel. Double shot with Adam Chernoff, RAS, and AdamChernoff.com. I know a lot of people were excited about this on X. FanDuel is doing team matchups head-to-head with spreads, even though they're not playing each other. So they did NC State, North Carolina last night, for example. Here, Oklahoma laying 3.5 against Texas is another one. Both huge favorites. Head-to-head now.
I love this. And I know it's kind of in fashion to complain about what sportsbooks are doing for a lot of reasons, rightfully so. But this is an awesome idea and an awesome market. And so, like you're saying, it's hypothetical matchups every week where based on team totals in the game that teams are playing, they match up, and you're essentially betting on 2 different games with 2 teams playing head to head. So, for example, if it was an NFL game, with Kansas City, Baltimore, and then Green Bay, Philadelphia, you could bet Kansas City against Philadelphia, even though they're not playing. You use the team totals between the two. I think it's really fun to think about because you have all of these end game scenarios where if it's a chase team that's going to be trailing, but they're matched up with a team that plays really well when they have a lead and run the football, even though those team totals might be kind of skewed on each team because of the matchup that they're playing, you can find all these different angles. And so I noticed they were up for about a day and a half and then quickly got taken down. And so it kind of shows how many opportunities you could find in these. I really hope that this is something that we get for NFL games because it would be awesome to talk about, and the handicaps that could come from it would be great. I hope we see more of this, things like this. This was a really, really well done market and a really great idea.
I agree. I thought it's a lot of fun as well. You mentioned this on your podcast, and this is fun. And some of these you have mentioned throughout the course of the summer. But it's Adam Chernoff's bold takes, top 10 of this upcoming NFL season. I'll start with this one. You can go in then any direction you want to take it. McDonald Coach of the Year.
Yeah, I really like this one, and the price is coming in. But if you can find 14-1, 15-1 right now this morning, I think it's a bet to make. They get the best, I would say, a top 3 most respected defensive mind in the league. He led a historically great defense for Baltimore last year. He steps into Seattle, where he's got great defensive weapons. a great interior defensive line, a solid secondary. Seahawks are going to be awesome on defense. And then offensively, it's Geno Smith, who's very underrated with a top 5 group of wide receivers. I think it's a big year for Jackson Smith and Jigba. Great stable of running backs, too. I really like the Seahawks team. I really like Mike McDonald. And coach of the year for the improvement that he can bring to the Seahawks, being a first-time head coach. He checks so many boxes. I think that's a great bet to make.
All right. San Francisco and Dallas under 10 wins?
San Francisco, Dallas, and Baltimore, 3 of them, all less than 10 wins.
Okay.
Niners, we talked about. They've got issues up front on the offensive line with the Trent Williams situation, but beyond that, with the other starters that they have, I think that's a tough situation for them to begin the year with, maybe a slower start. Dallas, to me, I have a hard time looking at the skill position players that Dallas has and saying that they're top 10 in the league. I don't buy it. They have Dak and CeeDee Lamb. Look at the roster, guys. The stable of running backs they have.
The joke.
Great in 2018, not good in 2024. And the O-line is as bad as it's been in Dallas for a long time. Now you lose Bland in the secondary for 8 weeks. To me, the Cowboys are in trouble. And then Baltimore, we talked about the O-line issues last segment that they have. We talked about the loss of Mike McDonald just now going to Seattle. They had to go to their third choice for defensive coordinator. To me, it's an inevitable drop-off on defense. Mm-hmm. And if those O-line struggles are real, I think the offense falters a bit too. So bold prediction would be all 3 of those teams fail to win 10 games.
Wow, okay. So then they could all obviously miss the playoffs. Back to the Cowboys for 1 second here. Ferguson's a nice tight end. But other than that, I mean, this is like the CeeDee Lamb show, and that's pretty much it when you look at the offense, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're putting a massive amount of faith and trust that Brandon Cooks can make a leap here in this offensive system. You've got Tolbert and Brooks behind him. Wide receiver-wise, you're relying on guys to take leaps that you've been waiting on for 1, 2, 3 years that haven't come through and done it. And so, like you said, outside of Lamb and Ferguson, there's not much here. And I mean, this offensive line has just a massive step back with some of the talent that they lost. And you're relying on some very, very old running backs to do a whole lot. To me, it's tough to get too excited about the Cowboys. Another bold prediction we threw on that list, Pauly, Mike McCarthy, first coach fired.
Yes.
Last year of the contract. Let's see.
That would be wild, too. Follow the money, Pauly and Mitch VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Adam Chernoff, our guest. Top 10 bold takes upcoming NFL season. It's never happened before. Chiefs 3-peat and Mahomes 5,000 yards.
What more can you want out of this Chiefs team? We can't complain about the wide receivers anymore. That was a popular thing to do for a long time. We can't complain about the defense anymore. That was another criticism of the team every year going in. I mean, what more do we want? This is the best roster Andy Reid has ever had in Kansas City. It's the best roster Patrick Mahomes has ever played on. I don't know what else we can want. Like, this should be a unanimous decision that everybody's making, because this team is absolutely loaded. And so if this Rice suspension gets pushed off, which it seems like it might, I don't know if the signing on wide receivers earlier this week is an indication that something might be brewing. I don't know what's going on there. But if he's on the field and playing, this is the best Chiefs team we've ever seen on both sides of the football. Defensively, they're going to be top 5. 8 guys who have played 3 years or more in the system return. You only lose Snead from last year, but you've got plenty of depth at the position. I have a hard time finding many holes with this team, so I don't know what else we can want. And if they're talking about the deep ball every single press conference they get, I tend to believe it's going to be there. Mm-hmm. Certainly going to open up a lot more space for Mahomes, but this offense is pissed off after what happened last year. They're going to get it right. I think Mahomes is in line to throw for 5,000 plus for the 3rd time in his career. Okay, so you love them. You think Baltimore takes a step back then. So what's the pecking order in the AFC behind the Chiefs? Like, who would be number 2? Who's number 3? So it becomes interesting. I still think Cincinnati is going to be very good if they figure out the chase stuff. I think Buffalo, part of me, is going to be sneaky good as well. And I think you're looking at the AFC South with Houston as just a loaded team that I think there's maybe a bit of a hesitation to say that there's going to be almost too much hype, like they're the popular hype team. I see, again, like Kansas City, very few reasons to be pessimistic whatsoever about Houston. And so those 4 to me really stand out. And then Miami, I'm concerned about the defense, but they're a solid number 5 in the AFC. Jets' first playoff win since 2010? Yes. They're gonna make the playoffs. They're gonna win a game in the playoffs. It'll be the first time since 2010. The defense is going to be leveled out and sustained by the play of Aaron Rodgers. And again, guys, I think the wrong question is being asked about when previewing and predicting the Jets. It's not whether or not Aaron Rodgers can return to the MVP form he was in. It's not whether or not Aaron Rodgers can be above average. It's whether or not Aaron Rodgers can contribute enough to stabilize this offense to where the defense, which is the best unit on this team, can perform. The Jets want to be a run-first team. This is not a team that's going to go out and throw it 30-plus time with Rodgers. They have an offensive line in place. They're going to run it a ton. And there's doubts on whether or not this works. Something that I would point back to is 2011, 2012 with the Denver Broncos. They bring in Peyton Manning, who missed a whole season with the neck injury and the surgery he got. That was an elite young defense the year prior that held on because they had Tim Tebow, who did them no favors on offense. But they held on and played to a top 5 level. When Manning came on, he elevated the offense, and the defense just thrived because they were no longer playing from behind. They had leads. The pass rush opened up. That was an offense that took a big leap, but that was a defense that was best in the league that year with just a ton of Pro Bowlers and a ton of All-Stars. The Jets are the same situation this year. And so, again, you just need Aaron Rodgers to be good enough to stabilize the offense, and it's a team that's going to rely on their defense and running the football. Jets are going to be really good this year.
All right, Carolina 7 seed, Philly wins the NFC. Corum 1,000 yards rushing. Crosby Defensive Player of the Year and 20 sacks. That's a bold list. Good job.
The Crosby sack number is interesting because you can find some most sacks number. You guys were saying at the break around 9-1 with Wilkins on that defensive line, opening him up and having opportunities to rush. Those double teams are not going to be there at the same rate. They're just not going to be able to do it opposing offensive lines to Crosby. So I think he's going to run wild and have a lot more opportunity to finish plays because he had no issues generating pressures last year, despite being one of the most top 10 double team defenders in the NFL. So if that's alleviated, my goodness, is it going to be a big season for Max Crosby?
Yep, totally agree. Love watching him play. Dynamite spot as always. You can follow Adam on X. He is at Adam Chernoff with Right Angle Sports podcast called The Simple Handicap. Can't thank you enough. Last 5 years being with us here in the mornings during the football season. That'll change to the afternoon starting next week, Adam. Thank you.
Awesome. Looking forward to the big week 1 preview next Friday afternoon.
Appreciate it. There you go. We'll expand on that for those of you just tuning in. Yes, some big news with the show today. He was on the Progressive Guest Line. Tell you about the move here on the show. You're going to want to hear the details for those of you just waking up today, maybe tuning in for the first time. And Pauly's going to recap last night's betting action and win some, lose some next.
Last night? Wow, winning. Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser! Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Lost in the college football last night was U.S. Open men's tennis.
Oh, boy.
Alcaraz lost in straight sets to Zan de Sloop. As high as 31-1. Most places 20, 22-1. He beat him in straight sets. Alcaraz was still favored after dropping the first 2 sets. How's your day going? Someone at MGM put $25,000 on Alcaraz to win $250.
Oh, no.
I just saw him at Hoover Dam.
Oh, you don't see him much longer. Oh, boy.
How does that happen? He loses the first set 6-1.
Showed up, thought he could win with his D-plus game, move on.
You ever see a price like that on a tennis match?
I mean, that's got to be one of the that's got to be one of the biggest, right? I mean, so seriously.
To put this in perspective, he was laying 9.5 games. So the books thought he would win like 6-2, 6-3, 6-3. He loses in straight sets.
Well, again, so when I first called I was doing 4 different, this is not a lie, I was in 4 different fantasy drafts at the same time last night. That was fun.
Yeah.
While the quest for $9.2 million was on and college football was taking place. By the time I got wind of this, he's down 2 sets to love. I look at, and he's still minus 170 to win. I'm like, well, I'm not watching this. I'm not watching the match right now, but that seems a little outrageous.
That? I know. North Carolina, plus 1.5 to -2. Beat Minnesota by 2. Central Michigan, Central Connecticut State over 51.5 up to 55. Easy. Ice Cream, 66 to 10. Arkansas, Pine Bluff over 57 up to 62. 70 rip. Missouri, 46 up to 50. 150 to 1-0. Tulsa over 53 up to 57, 62-28. UAB 24.5 up to 29.5, 141-3. San Jose State 60 up to 64, 42-24. Subscribe, be part of the team, vsin.com. Our radio and podcast friends. You always want to see these tweets and videos. We're not going anywhere, just moving back. Keep sending them in. Just look at this setup. I don't know if it's New York, whatever, but look at this humble abode. You got the upstairs loft where you got the bed, and then downstairs you got the big couch, and you can sleep in area, and the stairs that go up, and it's lit up with candles and lights as well. That's my kind of scene right there.
How big is the rest of the house?
I know.
Is that crammed into the whole thing?
Good point. I don't know. But that's between the skyline, the view, and then you got the upstairs where you sleep, and then underneath it, there's kind of like a little, look like a little work area, but then there's a sofa, which...
I'm intrigued.
Is that for the dog? I don't know, but I love it.
I'd like to do a walkthrough of this place.
That's right. Keep sending them in. We'll always put you on television. At Pauly Does Vegas on Instagram, Brandon sent this in. This is his pup, Asher. That's a Great Dane. He's 4 months. Oh, can you imagine this guy?
They're gigantic.
Oh, I know. Good-looking dog. And he just got him, sent it in. He's 4 months old, and he's a big fella.
Look at that, how beautiful that dog is.
That's right.
Wow.
Thank you, Brandon. Well done. Plenty of lose some. Colorado, 8.5 up to 11.5, won by 5. What was this all about? An in-play dream. Coastal Carolina, Jacksonville State under. 58.5 down to 54.5. 55-27. They didn't miss McCall here. Carolina looked great.
That was, the most impressive performance by any team last night,
They
maybe?
were gashing them on the ground. Big play after big play. North Carolina, Minnesota over, 50 up to 53. No shot. 19-17. Fordham, 17.5 down to 14.5. No good. New Hampshire, 41 down to 38. I mean, I thought, again, most of these teams covered, and there was a lot of blowouts. That was, they got buried by UCF. That was, where'd I put it? That was 57-3. Missouri over, 57.5 up to 63, 51-0. Kansas over, 58.5 up to 64, also no good. Illinois over, 45 up to 50. They won 45-0. Louisiana Monroe under, 49.5 down to 45. Look at these moves, 30-14. And what a sweat. Most wins in August. 2 games left. Diamondbacks 18, Padres and Dodgers 17, Cubbies, Tigers, Brewers, Astros 16. But wait, the Brewers have a doubleheader today, and the Dodgers face the Diamondbacks. This is awesome, this bet.
Well, Detroit lost that game yesterday, too.
That was a tough one.
And they also blew a couple of games this month. Well, who doesn't blow games, guess, other than Cleveland? But
yep. Also lose some. Thanks you to the Army who sent this in. I see you, Craig Carton. I see you, and I know what you're made of, and I know who you are. Fox Sports just started a new TV show Monday. On the brand new show, they're doing a segment called Real or Fugazi.
Yeah, isn't that funny? So we have that now. I mean, can you guys just call it something different? You don't have to copy the name. Something we've been doing here for 5 years. Also, another very popular national show all of a sudden 2 years ago. I don't want to overreact, but it's flattering, I guess. But maybe call it something different. Don't just, egregiously steal it and call it the same exact thing.
Yeah, okay. Lose some. You sent this in. Look at this. Is in Naples. With the driving, watch out.
I've been there.
Oh, no.
I still have nightmares over the drive.
Look at all the motorcycles and the bikes. Oh, I can't even imagine I can't even describe what we're looking at here. It's just it's a free-for-all, and it's New York City times 10.
Oh, this hit home when I saw the video, because I can relate to this. I will never forget the cab driver. He ran a red light, Paul. It was red for 7 seconds. He ran the red light. I'm just like, what?
Hang on. Yeah.
What are you doing?
Hang on.
It's bad.
Sure. Oh, man. You got the French Bulldogs, Luke? Oh, we caught the criminals. We found them. You come home, and you got the 2 French Bulldogs. And like, why is there water everywhere? The place flood. The French Bulldog brought the hose in from the backyard through the doggy door. Look at him. Man, so what? What do you make of it? He brings in they went in the backyard, he was watering the plants or the backyard. He grabbed the hose and brought it in through the doggy door, and he just put it in the living room. Yeah. And it flooded everything.
Want to have some fun, huh?
He just,
come on.
Look at it, yeah.
Give me the hose.
There he is. Here he comes. There he is. Here, right in action. We got the criminals. They were apprehended. Yeah. Oh, my God. Imagine walking into that. Bad for the books. Bowling Green over. 55.5 up to 60. Fell 58. North Dakota State, Colorado under. From 58 up to 61, went off 54, fell 57. My God. UCF under, 63 down to 59, fell 60. Tulsa, 31-point favorite up to 37, won by 34. Rutgers over, 48.5 up to 52, fell 51, which leads us to this. If you played under 51, 50, 49.5, or 49 in the Rutgers game, 38-7, 20 seconds left. Shannon doesn't take a knee. They score on a running play in the final play of the game, and the Howard coach was hot. Sure. And I don't blame him. It's ridiculous, Shiano. Oh, we got guys who blame, but come on, take a knee. That's ridiculous. Anyways, they didn't even kick the extra point, but 44-7 final. And then the under 8 in the Houston Royals game, Houston got a 4 spot in the bottom of the 8th to put it over. We are 6 days away from the start of the NFL season. You can't afford to be on the sidelines. Updated NFL betting guide, post preseason updates for every team, new insight on players to watch, week 1 betting systems, and more best bets. Grab our football season special, full VSiN Pro access now through the Super Bowl, just $175. 5 months of daily best bets, exclusive betting splits data, dog videos, top-rated betting systems. VSiN.com/subscribe. Everything you want through the Super Bowl, every best bet, every host, every guest, $175. VSiN.com/subscribe. Great job, guys.
The Pauly, my anniversary with Lorraine is in March. So rewind a handful of months. She bought me Metallica tickets for our anniversary, which is tonight in Seattle. And so originally we had planned on taking today off, maybe coming back like on Monday, Labor Day weekend, make it one final thing before football gets here. And then we found out, hey, you guys might be moving to the afternoons. Oh, okay, all right. Well, then today might be potentially the last day ever for the morning show. Can't take that day off. Would that be a total disservice? Then on Monday, got to be here for the afternoon show when it starts on Monday, which, by the way, yes, the show is moving. Final time ever here in the morning show this morning. 7 years plus here now, which is going to end on Monday. We're going to go to the afternoons from 4 until 7 o'clock Eastern time. I'm deathly afraid. My flight leaves at 11 a.m. Pacific time today, comes back on Sunday. With my history of travel, I don't know if I'll be here on Monday. I might have to, if all hell breaks loose with the airlines again, I might have to rent a car like on Sunday from Seattle and drive back to get here in time for the show on Monday.
You imagine that?
I'm not even kidding.
Oh, God. Hey, Mike Palm, can you come in?
Are you busy?
Dad, I know. Florida State, Boston College, Labor Day. Sure. Right. So Luke made a good point, our producer. When will the emails and tweets stop? Like, when will the last one come? What happened? I put the show on.
That's like, you still get Happy New Year in March? Guys, where you at?
What happened to Mitch and Paul in the morning?
I suspect we'll get them beyond Halloween.
What, we got the Christmas lights up? The tree?
Yes.
Put that up? The same thing? That was another one that was good. That kind of started win-lose, too.
Yeah, that was
when
big.
the dogs on sleds in the winter.
Oh, so good.
And also people sending in stuff. Look at the guy's got the Christmas decorations up.
It's April Fool's Day.
I know.
He's got the lights on outside
he's got his
here.
Tree up, for Christ's sake. That started it, too. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, good fun. Good times. 4 to 7 Eastern. 1 to 4 Pacific. Day baseball in play. Gonna be fun.
Yep.
Thanks to Brian and Bill. And thanks to everyone who's been with us the last 7 years, and you're the reason we're sitting here. And glad if you found us, if it was COVID or whatever, but I'm glad you found us.
Yep, no doubt. We'll get their in-pocket plays one final time here, coming up here on VSiN.
If his girlfriend was not
These games are a burial, a blowout, a human lock. You can bet your unborn children's children on these games.
I was so good that whenever I bet, I could change the odds for every bookmaker in the country.
All right. Some days you're the dog, other days you're the fire hydrant. NC State won by 17. They were laying 32, but at one point in the third quarter, they were only minus 3.5 in play. I did not expect Western Carolina to score 21 points, and while McCall looked pretty good, the interception was huge because it was a 14-point swing. But they win by 17, and now they get ready for Tennessee next week in Charlotte. But not a good performance by NC State. But, you know, most of these teams had an easy time of it, and I thought NC State would have an easy time of it. And Western Carolina got routed by 50 last year against Arkansas in the season opener. 57-3 Central Florida. 70-0 Arkansas. 41-3 UAB. 52-rip Tulane. 51-0 Missouri. 48-3 Kansas. 45-0 to who is this? 45-0 Illinois and 49-0 Utah. But NC State was a team that struggled, so that's how it goes sometimes. So apologize for that one. And then we are ready to go. All the futures throughout the whole summer here with everything. Old Dominion under 4.5 and 5 for the win total. Utah to win the national title, 100-1 and 75-1. Texas under 10.5 wins, love it. Georgia to win the SEC 2-1. Georgia to make the SEC title game, -160. Oklahoma State over 7.5 wins. Got a good number there, -160. Like that a lot. Oklahoma State to win the Big 12, 8, 9, 10, 12-1. Depends when you got. But numbers are all over the place with that one, too. Paul Stone special, UTEP under 4.5 wins. Miami under 9.5 wins. Cristobal's got to prove it to me. Michigan under 9.5, -220. New Mexico State under 4.5. Going to be a long year for New Mexico State. Kill leaves, new coach, Tony Sanchez. New Mexico under 2.5. They're not favored in a game the whole year. Caught a break on week 0. Memphis under 9.5 wins. It's a tough schedule. Boise under 9.5 and 9. But I do like them to win the Mountain West +120. Iowa over 7.5 -170. Texas A&M over 8.5 -130. Penn State over 9.5 -160.
Good?
I believe so.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. It's going to be a fun season. I'm excited tomorrow, and it's a good way to start with Georgia, Clemson, and also West Virginia, Penn State. All right.
Winner last night, North Dakota State with the 10. How about that? It was on 11. If I lost that game and it moved to 11.5, I was going to be beside myself today. But they closed strong, could have won the game. Dion, total buffoon. He has no idea what he's doing. Awful job coaching down the stretch. Run the ball, get out of there with the win. Don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. No, got to throw. I don't know, trying to cover the game, what he was doing there. It's going to be a repeat of 2023 with Colorado this year. Their offense, really, Sanders, good. Hunter, great. Defense, horrendous.
Take money every game, too?
Yeah, probably.
I was shocked. I like the guy. He's a great guy. I was shocked Randy McKay took 8.5, like in the summer. Because it was...
could just wait,
hold off on
that.
You know what the public's going to do?
This did not go well for me yesterday. How about after one hole, my guy, Xander Schauffele and Scotty Scheffler were tied.
Yeah.
Scheffler bogeyed number 1. Schauffele birdied number 1. And they were each tied. I'm like, here we go. This is going to be great. And X-Man just did not have it yesterday. And then Scotty got red hot and was awesome. So that was a loser. Bet tonight in college football. I'm going Western Michigan. Too many points here. They're catching 24 points against Wisconsin.
I agree.
That's a huge number for a Wisconsin team that is not. Yeah. They haven't averaged more than 27 points per game since 2019. So give me the 24 with Western Michigan. And I'll quickly here go rapid fire through the pending as well. Utah national title, Utah to make the playoffs, Ole Miss national title, Milroe Heisman, Avery Johnson, K-State Heisman, Miller Moss from USC Heisman as well. My 3 future bets in that market. And I have some other bets as well. Miami to win the ACC, Oklahoma under, and then Schauffele to win the Tour Championship. Now looking great today at +225.
All right, baby. There you go. Yeah. I thought that was the case with the... Mitch wanted to play the...
I thought we had this thing in the system from 5 years ago. Is there any way
it was beeped.
Is there any way to beep it out?
Mitch wants to play the Virginia audio
from 5 years ago
when they after they lost to a 16 seed and then came back. I cursed. I cursed.
You cursed at me.
I know.
It was the year after they got bounced as a 1 seed.
I remember swearing.
And I brought them on. I didn't even name names here. I'm like, let me give you a team. They're blowing teams out way more than ever before. I'm like, how about 14-1 on Virginia? You just laughed at me. Turned my mic off, amateur hour, the whole thing.
I said you would look. You know what it reminds me of? Remember the sports pig, may he rest in peace?
Oh, of
Remember?
Course, yeah.
Hey guys, they talk like this. And he used to always say, dare to be Salt Lake City. We're gonna get the NFL, the NBA, hockey. I go, you have no credibility. You don't talk like. And then he was right. We got all these pro sports. I'm like, Mitch, you're hurting your credit. You don't say Virginia's going to win the basketball title after what?
Well, that's because
they did it. They did it.
Like, how many teams have we had since the beginning of this show and the beginning of VSiN where they lose like in heartbreaking fashion in any sport? They come back the next year, okay, and they totally redeem themselves. North Carolina basketball, same thing. Do we have it now? Okay.
Oh, you got it. Okay, good.
All right, this was a lot of So again, back in the old days on Sirius XM, we can get away with cussing once in a while. We're not on TV like today, but this was the banter again on Virginia at that time. Paul, I think you can get him at 12-1 right now, maybe a little bit 14-1. Don't come across the table at me. I kind of want to bet Virginia.
Oh, will you stop it?
I kind of
Shut his mic off. Shut his mic off. Just became amateur hour. Come on.
I told you last year.
We got a great show. Don't make a comment like that. That's ridiculous.
Well, if you don't think this team has come out this year.
Oh, here we go.
No. Yeah. Just look at their scores this year. If you don't think this team is on a mission and pissed off about what happened as the only one seed to ever lose.
Oh, sure, yeah.
They are beating teams by 35 points.
They did the same thing last year. They ran right through the conference.
Not like this.
They ran right through the conference.
Not like this.
Oh, stop.
Paul, they were not like this. And by the way, I got news for you. They're way better offensively this year.
Yeah, well, okay, sure. We'll see.
I'm telling you, they are.
They do it every year. Oh, look at this. Virginia, great seed. Go down early.
You give me 20-1? Give me 25-1?
I'm not giving you anything. Doesn't translate.
No, you're scared, huh?
So I'm not scared. Doesn't translate in March when you play that type of Mickey Mouse offense. You look up that half court 250 and
that was their wake up call.
Oh, okay.
That was the biggest wake up call maybe ever in college basketball.
It's the exact. You know what? The exact opposite's going to happen about what you said. They're going to freak out because they're going to hear about it nonstop. Hey, you lost to a 16. There's going to be so much pressure on them. They're going to be tight and they're going to lose again.
Nope,
like they
disagree.
Always do.
It's going to be like, this is going to be like Auburn losing to Central Florida last year. They've heard about it for an entire year. Came back. I know they were 7-5. That's not what I'm talking about, Auburn. Their bowl game, it was a mission to go out there and piss pound Purdue, and they did. And I think Virginia is going to be absolutely scary come March.
Just
give me 25.
Forget that never happened. In pocket, baby. We'll run a heavy NFL coming up next.
Oops. The show looked a little bit different back then, huh?
That was a good hair day I had. Remember, they were losing in the first round, like at halftime. I was looking for you at the D.
At the D, we're watching the D, yeah.
They were losing. It was 16 again. And then
it was let's be honest here. How they won the title that year.
Oh, I know.
Some of their wins. It was a miracle, but
that was a great story.
Was it who else was it? Purdue. They never should have, right? The missed free throw goes all the way back to half court. Let's lob it in. Hey, there's a miracle at the buzzer.
Yeah.
Go to overtime.
Incredible.
1.
7 years.
Yeah.
My God.
Well, you know what? We have nobody. I mean, we agreed to it. They presented it to us at the South Point 7.5 years ago. Hey, guys, like what you're doing. We were doing 11-1. So that was 2-4 East Coast time when this show first started. We kind of want you to go to the mornings. Oh, yeah? What time? We're thinking like 7. No, like 4 a.m. What? We didn't have to say yes. We did.
Those guys are so good, though, Bill Adie and Brian Musburger. Remember what they said? They said, take like 2 weeks off to get acclimated and adjust your body and everything.
I love what Brian said. He said, fly to somewhere. Seriously, he's like fly to Iceland and stay there for a week. And that way you're going to get acclimated and your body's going to adjust. I'm like, well, I love the idea. It sounds great, but it would have been, in theory, something maybe. That's the thing, too. Like, I could never go home and sleep after the show. I'm not that. Just the body, the chemistry, whatever. I couldn't.
I know.
I'm always up during the day.
I have a gift. You want me to fall asleep right now? I will.
Yeah, but you
want to bring a cot in? I'll fall asleep.
That was a nap, right?
Right there. Yeah.
Ultimately, we could go home and sleep from 8 o'clock until like 3. The games come on, and then we're up for the rest of the day. But that's just not the way life works.
I also don't know what's going to happen here, but thanks to the guys behind the glass, I wanted everyone to join us on the new journey. Afternoon drive, so I don't know who's coming, and they're great guys. They're
Bang
professional.
up job.
It was hilarious yesterday. Ryan's got the gloves on with the Portillos and the crock pot in the back.
Awesome.
But
Jeremy, Darnell, Andre, Luke, the whole crew, phenomenal job here with the show. Can't thank you guys enough. So that's it for us. 7 years in this time slot. New show starting on Monday. Our show will be at 4 o'clock Eastern in the afternoon. Happy Labor Day weekend.